Yes. Example from universal witnesses. Judgment that two prescribed persons, noun and unknown, are similar. You can say they liken each other, they are identical to each other, as you say, or as you want, as you like. It's up to you. If they share the same name of the predication, resembling analogy, and that is possible if that is possible if we see one of them with his predication, mother, and the child see his mother. We see the predication of the another one who is unknown, which is identical to the first one when the child hear his mother's sound, reality, and then they both noun two prescribed person, noun and unknown one, obligate under the same condition. I will give you an example to clarify it. You are in the forest, darkness around you, and suddenly one unknown animal branch come and run fast toward you. So this branch, this prescribed person animal is unknown. It is unknown. Yes. It's unknown for you. And his sound predication seems like hyena sound. Hyena sound, this original, which you know, which completely you know, which you are really completely know, then you will run away, and surely you will not stay to look at the animal face. So now the branch is identical to the original. Listen here. So the branch is identical to the original because we see the property of the unknown branch, his sound, which is completely likened to the original hyena sound, which we really know before, under the same condition and atmosphere. What is that? It's darkness and run fast toward you. So the original and the branch have the same predication, which make you do an analogy that they are identical. So if you will if you ask yourself, you will not run away if you hear the rabbit sound run toward you. So the quality of the unknown person must be felt or must be seen reality to make or to do analogy between the original and branch. As we mentioned above, we see one of them with his completely predication, complete predication. See the predication of the another one, which is identical reality to the first one. Then both of them obligate under the same conditions. Yes. Now, number 2. Judgment that two different creating or prescribed person, two different prescribed prescribed person, yes, prescribed person, two different prescribed person or creation, noun and unknown, have the same predication, name, meaning, modality, and we say, or we called it as universal analogy. And it is possible if we see them both, prescribed person, number 1 and 2, and analyzing will be under the same conditions. And we will take this example. Quality of possible to live on the earth. Is that known or unknown? It's known, because we live on the earth and we know the rules to make this living is possible on the earth ground. Yes, but it's not valid on the Saturn, another planet, because it is unknown. We called it as Saturn. Yes. You couldn't say that Saturn, unknown planet, and Earth, known planet, has the same quality possible for human to live on its ground until what? Until you see the Saturn planet and then analyze those two planets under the same condition, even if they had ground to be lived on or to be lived on. What does that mean? To analyze two planets under the same condition. Because little example, is the sun so near or so far from the earth? It's middle. But is the sun very far from the Saturn planet? So we couldn't live there because it's so cold there. We'll freeze there. And if the sun so near to the planet, what happened? So it will be very, very hot. So you couldn't live on the planet if the sun is very near, or if the sun is very very far. So, as we mentioned above here, if you will say that the quality is identical in two prescribed person, we have to see both of them, both prescribed person. And number three, number one and number two, we discuss about prescribed person, two prescribed person. One of them is noun, and another of them is anonym. But just now we will take two prescribed person, and those prescribed person are noun, and we will see that even if they have the same name of the quality, it doesn't mean that they are identical, and it doesn't mean that if they are distinct from each other, it doesn't mean that they have the same meaning or the same quality, meaning, and modality. Number three, the same name of the quality, which is shareable between two noun person or prescribed person, or yes, doesn't lead to the same modality. Of the quality, and doesn't lead those persons are identical to each other. Example. We explained before that the sky and Eiffel Tower has the same name and meaning of the quality, where high, and that means having a specific elevation. They have the same name and meaning of the quality high, but we see before in the seventh axiom that they have a different modality, support to guard it. So Eiffel Tower, to get its elevation 330, it needs support, but the sky, which with this elevation, doesn't need the support which we could see just now. And even if they have the same name of the quality, so listen here, it doesn't mean that the sky likened to Eiffel Tower, identical to Eiffel Tower, and it doesn't mean that they both are distinct from each other, but it doesn't mean that they both have the same quality, meaning, and modality, because modality of high, it's completely different between them. So now this example, from the two prescribed person, you see to understand that even if two prescribed person have the same name of the quality, it doesn't mean that two persons are identical to each other, and it doesn't mean that two persons have the same equality, meaning, and modality. Now, number four, invisible lead to illusion and to incorrect analogy. Now, invisible, if you miss a vision for the original prescribed person, so now you couldn't do any analogy based on this original. Why? Because you miss to see the original. How could you do analogy about him or based on him? So the example here, blind who has never seen the mountain originally couldn't do any analogy regarding material world, which is unknown for him, because he missed the original view. So therefore, now you couldn't do any analogy about immortal realm. Why? Because you miss the original photo about it. You have, listen, brother and sister, you have a photo about material realm, material world, so you can do analogy in this material world, but you have no image about immortal realm or immortal world, so you couldn't do any analogy about this. And we explained those witnesses, universal witnesses, to understand there is big difference between you and your Lord.